This is episode 108. I still can't believe we made it this far. Of Play PSVR2, the podcast. Alex, I am so thankful. My PSVR2 is on the way. It is verified to be here on Wednesday, February 22nd by UPS. I am so thankful. I'm happier now than I was for Thanksgiving, which brings me, I'm jumping right into the gamer juice because of my thanks and my giving. I have Jones soda, turkey and gravy flavor.
Ooh.
No, there is no way this is even palatable, right?
You know it's going to taste like turkey and gravy. Like they're just going to make it taste like turkey and gravy.
And look at this. There's no sugar. There isn't a gram of sugar, which is
it's just gravy mixed in with blended turkey. Yeah.
Oh no! It's gonna be...
While you go for that, Adam, I want to talk about my pre-order situation. While you're over there playing your PSVR2.
Wait, here we go. Here, I gotta rip it off.
Gotta rip it off.
Oh.
Why do you do this to yourself, Adam? You know.
Oh, it's horrible.
You know the rule of Gamer Juice is you have to finish that tonight.
Oh,
you have to finish that.
Dude,
Here it is.
It's horrible.
You have to finish that tonight, or it's a barf bean at the end of the show. He's going for it. He's chugging it. He's chugging the gravy. He's like his auntie.
They're chugging. Dude, it's. They put some cranberry sauce in there.
Oh, so that makes it good. Yeah. Okay. Oh, he's really going for. Okay. I thought it would be carbonated. Is it not carbonated? How do you drink it so?
No, it is. That's why I can't chug it all in one go.
Oh my goodness. Last time I saw somebody chug down turkey like that is when I took your mom to Costco.
Oh, dude, that was disgusting. I knew it was gonna. I didn't plan on chugging it, but I did bring a second gamer juice for the second segment. Wow, that was bad. And thankfully, this is Cock and Bowl ginger beer, so it's very strong. I bought this because one of us is a cock and the other one's a bowl. Alex, what do you have to drink?
Well, you're celebrating your PSVR2 at launch. While you're sitting there playing your PSVR2 and your controller and your batteries run out, you're going to be crying because you wish you had my situation, because my controller mount is going to be shipping here February 22nd at launch. I don't know about the PSVR2 yet, but I'm going to be able to charge my controllers once they get here, and you're going to wish you had my controller chargers, what you're going to wish. Oh my goodness. Every day I'm frantically checking my email to see if it's been approved, if it's shipped yet. I know I'm going to get my controller mount like tomorrow probably. Who knows? That thing's on its way. My PSVR2, I don't even think I've bought it yet. Who knows?
You're gonna be there. Everyone's playing the PSVR2, and the controllers aren't gonna last long enough, and you're gonna be there with just a charge port.
I'm gonna be laughing so hard at you come February 23rd when you can't charge your controllers, and I'm sitting here holding this baby that you need. I'm gonna have my Move controllers taped to it. They're gonna be fully charged. It's going to be great.
I'm going to be like, Collective Minds, no!
I'm going to be charging my cell phone on it. Going to be charging my PSVR 3 on it. Anything. USB-C. Let's do it, baby.
So they still haven't shipped your PSVR 2?
Still preparing to ship. I'll get into it with the grievances.
What are they doing to prepare it?
Not send me emails, I guess. Maybe their email server died. Probably fixing their email server. Who knows what's happening? I don't know.
Dude, freaking Cuck's Ernie's screwing you, dude.
Yeah, it's because I didn't let him come over.
Something extra in your box.
Putting some in my box. That's great, Adam. You didn't mean to be that good. My gamer juice is Tetris G Fuel. Tetris G Fuel.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, I went to Publix and they had all sorts of terrible energy drinks, and this is going to be one of them. Zero sugar, dude, all the energy.
It can't be worse than what I just drank.
No, it's not going to be bad.
So bad.
It tastes it's not great. It's not very good.
What's the flavor?
Sweet? I don't even know. It's just.
Imagine what. It tastes like a teaspoon?
A teaspoon. It tastes like a teaspoon, yeah.
You don't even know what it is.
I thought that was a sex term at first. Adam, let's get this thing going. We have, on this show today, it's the last day of PSVR. I mean, in some ways, it's the last episode of Play PSVR 1, the podcast, although we're Play PSVR 2 now. We got the hype. We got the info. we're putting our PSVR1s to rest. At least you are, because I might still have to be playing Tetris on mine next week. So to send this out, just like you do any great actor or something like that, or comedian, you have a roast. So Adam, I propose that we do a PSVR roast. How do you feel about that?
Oh, dude, my stomach is like upset. Like it got screwed. Oh my gosh. I'm good with the roast though. I'm about ready to roast Jones Soda for that nasty effing soda I just drank.
They didn't hide it. They didn't hide it for me.
No,
They told you what it was, and it was what it was.
It was. I love roasts, and I just realized when I was introducing rather the podcast, I was gonna open with the line, "Yo, mama's so fat, her favorite meal is seconds," and that was gonna be the intro, but I biffed it. So I whatever. But I'm locked and loaded, ready, baby. So we're just gonna go back and forth, roast the PSVR. Are you ready to throw down? I feel bad a bit for me. You know, it's like a little brother, right? You love him,
Yeah,
but you got to give him crap. And now it was that or have a funeral, and the funeral seemed too heavy of a subject. Alex would have cried on the podcast, and that's not good audio. So here's the thing: PSVR, your haptics are so weak that they get amnesia from a sheet of paper. And I am excited. I am excited for the PSVR 2 when these developers are saying we had to tune down the haptics. That makes me very aroused. I cannot.
What does that even mean? I love these roasts, Adam. Keep on.
Alex liked it. Alex liked that one. He's already shook. A PSVR over here is looking sketch too. I am pumped for the controller haptics, the harder vibration. I am excited. It's a clear upgrade over the PSVR 1. We loved you for what it was, but it's going to be better. And it's going to be one of those things you didn't know you loved it, and you didn't know you missed it until you had it. And that's it. Sorry, PSVR, but boom roasted.
Yeah, I mean the thing for PSVR 2 that I'm really excited about is the lenses. They sound really nice. Everybody's talking about the clarity of image. The other day I had your auntie over. She was playing PSVR with me, kind of doing a send off. And when I walked in, she said, "It's so blurry. It's so blurry. It looks like somebody's got Crisco on it." I said, "What are you talking about?" I walked upstairs. I saw her. She was licking the lenses. She thought there was butter on it. That's how blurry the images are, Adam. That's what I'm. PSVR, you got to get rid of your blurry lenses, and we got PSVR 2 to replace you because you're so nasty. You're like somebody rubbed a stick of butter, some fried chicken all over the lenses. I'm here. You're keeping your auntie away. No more licking lenses here, baby. We don't need any of that buttery screen.
Could have been turkey and gravy on them lenses. Instead, it was in my mouth. I'm also very excited for the resolution. That is going to be boss. I also didn't realize you immediately were jumping into the roast. I thought you were tagging on to my roast, and I was like, where is he going? Now I get it. So this one is pretty simple, and it's a low blow. I'll have to admit. But at PSVR, you suck so hard. Special delivery is in your game library. That game is the biggest still to this day. Special delivery and 18 floors are neck and neck for the biggest waste of human life known to man. And the reason I might give it the special delivery is 18 floors only had, 4 floors, and they were horrible? But you could tell the developers didn't really care. They didn't really try. It was a poor effort right out the gate. Special delivery, it looks like they actually tried, and they just sucked that hard. I mean, it was a good idea. They took what was a beloved game, a classic. Nintendo, I mean, I know it was a direct ripoff, but let's be honest, it was, and they ruined it. It's awful. And
Would you play a PSVR 2 upgrade of special delivery?
Oh.
You have to try it, right?
I think I would. Because it's such a good idea and it could be really fun. Especially with, again, all the other crap that they add on the PSVR 2. I don't know if it would mean you have to redesign the whole game to make it not suck. Like, if they kept the sprites and the graphics weren't bad. Literally, it was just the tracking and the move controllers. When you threw a paper, it didn't do anything. It fell right to the ground. And moving was really sketch. I mean, it was horrendous. Really, I think maybe the worst game I've ever played. I hate it. There were many and airing of grievances over special delivery, and I'm not about ready to jump into one again. But because of that, PSVR, you suck. Boom, roasted.
Well, here's another story, Adam. When we got done playing PSVR, your auntie, I noticed we were walking outside, and she was kind of lopsided, and I said, "What's up?" And she said, "Well, I have one leg shorter than the other." And so I took her to the doctor's office, went to the Minute Clinic, and I dropped her off, and she walked in. She came out, I kid you not, 5 minutes later, she came out, she was walking straight. Both legs were the same size. I said, "What happened?" She said, "Look," she pulled up her pants leg. She had a breakout box strapped to her foot. That's what they give out now. These PSVR 1 breakout boxes, they're so sturdy and durable and bulky, you can use them as orthotic shoes. It's incredible. I'm so happy, PSVR 2, we don't have to carry this thing around. We don't have to load this thing. It's so annoying. Every time I need to switch any kind of input on my TV, I got to deal with that breakout box. And now I can donate them to the local podiatrist. He can fix all those short-legged people out there so they don't have to walk around in circles all day. It's great.
And the proctologist could use it too.
For what? For what? For what?
We gotta move on. So, I don't know if hopefully you watch it, Alex. I made a video this week of what to expect when you're expecting a PSVR 2, and I beat the crap out of the breakout box. That thing could take some beating, though. I stomped it. I hammered it. I threw it against the ground repeatedly. I mean, that thing took probably 9 swings of a hammer hard. I wasn't doing baby taps. I was smashing it. So it's ugly, it's big, it can be used for orthotics, but hey, it's strong.
Yeah.
It's got that going for it. And I hate to make fun of how people look. Some people are just ugly, like the PSVR. And you are so ugly that to trick or treat, you got to use the phone. That's funny. We love the way. Yeah, it's been our logo for only God knows how long. But it's not a good logo because it's kind of ugly. It just doesn't. It looks like what's that guy from Star Trek? It looks like you're a really fat, not Data. Who's the black guy with the visor?
Lamar? His name is, the actor's Lamar. I forget his name in the show. Yeah.
Oh, you're killing me. Someone comment, whoever it is. It looks like you're a really fat version of that guy, like huge, and your visor is way too big. I understand they tried to make it look somewhat futuristic and modern, but it just, look at it.
Yeah, it's a chunker for sure. Yeah, but speaking of like ugly things, scary things, the one thing that PSVR was really good for was the horror games. There's so many good scary games. If you like horror games, it's wonderful. And as a matter of fact, Adam, I think you were streaming once, and you streamed like the scariest game of all time. It was when you were wearing the PSVR headset, and that little screen pops up when you start the game, and it shows you the image of yourself in the PSVR camera. Boom.
Wait, that's a more of a roast to me.
Yeah, all right.
Either way, yeah. That would have been, even with the PSVR headset on, you're still ugly.
Yeah, there we go. That's why I had to include the headset on when it happened.
That's right. Your portraits hang themselves so ugly. Get it?
I get it.
You get it, yeah. So speaking of, I don't know, hanging and cords, I hate the PSVR cord. It is so long and thick that a cop came to my house, put a chokehold on the cord, and he passed out. That's how thick and long that cord is. I effing hate it. I don't like it on the PSVR 2 either, but at least there's no breakout box. There's no multiple cords fused together. It's a simple input. It's a skinny little cord. We got that going for us. But that is one of the biggest detriments of the PSVR. And because of that, you suck, and boom roast.
So the thing about the PSVR, like that cord was all right and everything like that. The biggest thing for PSVR that was kind of cool when it launched with cinema mode, right? You have the promise you can watch your Blu-ray movies in VR with big screen mode. You can watch your, your 3D movies in big screen mode, cinema mode, stuff like that. The thing I'm excited about PSVR 2 is that cinema mode actually works. It's really cool. The thing that happened to me was when I played cinema mode, it's so bad and old and clunky that when I put cinema mode on, I turned on, the thing to play the movie, and I had to rewind it before it would start. Like a VHS tape, Adam. Come on. Okay, thanks. Never mind. Let's keep moving with it.
It doesn't even make any sense. Okay, going back to the breakout box, I know you're tough, but you're so big and you're just way too large that in Christmas, I took a picture and it's still printing that you're so big. You freaking suck, breakout box. But again, you could take a heck of a freaking beating. But I'm glad we don't have it, Alex. Only one cord. Only one cord. Screw you, PSVR. You suck. Boom roasted.
Oh. So the other thing about the PSVR is PSVR 2 has the nice OLED screens, right? It's got HDR. The blacks are going to be so black. But just to figure out what it's going to be like, I put on the PSVR 1 headset and I decided to play Job Simulator again. I had the restaurant. And so I went to the restaurant and I ordered. I said, hey, give me one black coffee. They said, coming right up. They handed it to me. It was a cup of milk. Boom.
Oh, I thought this was going to be a black joke. I was like, Alex, you can't.
Not at all. No. The
Okay.
mirror effect is so bad that the black coffee's a cup of milk. Goodness, Adam. Okay. Get out of here.
Oh, but we don't want to just make fun of the PSVR. We want you to make fun of the PSVR.
Whoa, I got one more. I got one more.
He's got one more.
I got one more. So here's the thing about the PSVR. We all were upset about it. The Move controllers, they suck so bad. We hated it. It made us hate playing games in the PSVR. Thank God they released the analog stick or the aim controller, because it had analog sticks. And finally, when you play Firewall 0 Hour or whatever it's called, you have the analog sticks, so you can walk right out of that lobby and go do something else with your time.
Boom roasted, man, that freaking game. I can't wait for the second PSVR update. Can't wait for the new Firewall Ultra.
You got foveated lobby rendering. It's going to be great.
Yes, I can really zoom in on your package. Oh, you got some C4 in there? No.
Yeah, it's a special delivery just for you.
A
thick cord just for you.
We want you to tag along. Comment, email, contact@playpsvr.com. Tweet us at gaming_court. We have a North American code for Song in the Smoke rekindled just for you. You get that. It's a free PSVR game for you, Jim, but you gotta roast the PSVR. Be nice. Hey, don't be nice. I don't even care.
It's a roast.
Yeah. Make it cry. It's done. Come Wednesday, it is dead to me.
Give us the best PSVR roast. You get a Song in the Smoke code. That's how it goes.
That's right. You got 3 methods to enter. Do it up. Now, Alex, we're already a little spicy right now. Let's hop right into the airing of grievances. I know you have a couple, and I've got a couple too. So we're gonna get locked and loaded, but don't spend too much time because we got to move on to something more positive.
Okay, my first airing of grievance, not going to get too heated. I'm so freaking pissed at the world's banking system right now. My PSVR 2 has not been shipped yet because for some reason, bank cards, credit cards, they just think that anything purchased around midnight on a credit card is a fraudulent charge. I woke up to an email saying your payment failed. And then I checked my messages on my bank and they said, oh, we've detected fraudulent activity. We reached out to you. They didn't reach out to me. It wasn't until 8 a.m. later that day that I got a text message that said, hey, did you want to buy something from PlayStation? We got a charge for like a PSVR 2 headset. And I had to say, yeah, it pisses me off. How do you not just take my money right from the beginning? I'm ready to give you the cash right there. Let me pay for it right now. Put it on PayPal. Who gives a crap? Except Bitcoin. I don't even know. I just want to give you my damn money. And you can't even figure out how to just take that money and not screw me over. F you, Sony, right now. F you until you send that thing right into my inbox. I want it sitting outside my front door. If it's not there on the 22nd, you're dead to me until the 23rd.
Okay. My first airing grievance is you, Alex. Up yours. I think you should buy it and eat a freaking bean. It's bullcrap. Last week, I got all excited because these freaking people were like, oh, there's rumors of there's going to be a PSVR 2 announcement in the Super Bowl. I watched that thing like a freaking hawk. The whole night, I told everyone at the party. Every time a commercial came on, I was like, shut the F up! PSVR is coming. Get ready. And they all made fun of me because, oh, yeah, sure they will. I sat there for like 5 hours, not even a freaking iota of a Sony commercial, a headset, nothing in VR. And I would be okay. There was a Reddit post that said a rumor, but then you freaking Alex came on here talking about how legitimate it was, why there was actual maybe evidence and proof that it would be there. Games that would even be on it made me think it was legit. I got all excited all night. Everyone made fun of me. And then at the very end, when it was never there, the biggest kick in the balls, they just threw me on the ground, spit on me, and said, you're an effing loser. VR sucks. And then they walked away. But once they play Gran Turismo 7, I think, they'll see the light. But it hurt my feelings, my soul, and my nads.
Luckily, your box can take a beating like the breakout box. Adam, the issue with that is I listened back to the episode. I never said that this was legitimate. I said these are rumors coming out. Also, I said it's probably going to be a sizzle reel of footage, and there might be something PSVR related. And double that, there was a new commercial release, only it was on the Canadian airing of the American Super Bowl that had God of War. So everything I said more or less came true.
But it didn't have VR. It just had...
I never said it was going to have VR. I said they're probably just going to have a sizzle reel. There might be VR, but that's just what the rumors are saying.
We had a whole thing talking about what game could it be.
Here's how it goes, guys.
Like it's going to be God of War.
Here's how it goes, guys. I tell Adam, hey, there's rumors there might be a PSVR commercial, and Adam dedicates a whole freaking segment to it. I hop on the podcast, and Adam's like, Alex, you need to talk for 30 minutes about the Super Bowl commercial that's definitely happening that you told me. No, that's how this works.
It's freaking Playstradamus and Shapestradamus and all these effing hacks, these false prophets out here talking about crap. You don't know titties.
I don't. You know who else doesn't know titties, Adam? The reviewers of the PSVR2. So PSVR2 reviews, the embargo was lifted, and these a-holes, okay, some of them were good, whatever. I don't care if the reviews are bad or good. Just give me some good reasons. I'm so pissed off at these people. You know what, like, the number one complaint people had was for the PSVR2? It wasn't the cord. It wasn't the games. It wasn't the foveated rendering not working. It wasn't the haptics. You know what it was? Actually, you can't plug the PSVR2 into the PC, so we're going to dock it points for that. People are legitimately upset. They took points off of the PSVR2 score because you couldn't plug it into a PC and play PC games on it. Not only am I pissed at the reviewers, there's all these nerds and gonads out there on Reddit saying, I can't believe how anti-consumer it is that they're not allowing the PSVR2 to work on the PC. It's a freaking PlayStation 5 accessory, you idiots. What do you expect me to do? Plug my, put my Oculus Quest and plug it into my PS5. Is that supposed to work? Is that anti-consumer, you a-hole? Can I plug my Steam Index, my Valve Index into the PS5 and suddenly start playing God of War? Damn it, I can't do that, you freaking idiots. It's a PS5 accessory. Sony pumped money to push VR forward. Nobody else is really doing foveated rendering. Nobody else is doing head haptics, adaptive triggers, stuff like that. Sony's pumping money into this thing, and they got to get a return on it. Why are you going to waste money selling these headsets at a loss so that they can play freaking Gorilla Tag on PC VR with a bunch of 2-year-olds? Oh my goodness. I hate the reviewers. They're so dumb. Also, the other thing, talk about the price. Listen, it's expensive. PSVR 1 was expensive. We get it. Not everybody can afford it, and the prices are going to drop at some point. You can get it used at some point. But the price of the PSVR 2 is $550. Yeah, it's a decent chunk of change. It comes with great controllers. It comes with next level graphics for VR. But the big thing is it plugs right into your PS5. PSVR 2 plus a PS5 gives you a VR gaming experience way better than you can get with a $1,000 PC and a crappy Oculus Quest that's breaking your neck every time you try to move around, or whatever stupid PC VR headset you have that's about 20 years old by now and no freaking company on the planet's making a new one. Welcome to the next generation. Maybe you should have some forethought about how this pricing structure should work, because we're not just going to be, selling a $200 cell phone that you slap to your face and call it a Meta VR, Meta VR, I'm going to talk to my friends all day VR experience. No, we're playing freaking Horizon. We're playing Gran Turismo 7. We're playing Resident Evil 8, you big turd mouths.
Listen, they should have the foreskin to see what Sony is planning. And my issue is also the reviewers, Alex, but on a different reason. I don't watch the reviews. And the reason I don't is because everyone who gets the headset early, you can't trust them. It is a pile of bullcrap. We have seen hard examples. I think you even told me the PSVR parole guys. If you say something negative, I don't know. Blacklisted seems like a hard.
It wasn't them. I'll say it wasn't. That's not why they were apparently blacklisted. But I don't know why. So it was a different gaming outfit that did reviews that I worked with. They were blacklisted for saying bad things. But yeah.
So these people need the almighty views on their freaking YouTubes and on their websites and crap. So they get the headset. They have to say something bad, right? It can't be obvious that it's all perfect. So they come up with these stupid reasons that are very minor on why you should be upset, like plugging it into a PC. They realize probably 90% of the freaking consumers buying a PSVR2 headset don't even care if that exists. So I'll throw that under the bus. That way it doesn't look like I'm just saying it's perfect, because they can't say anything negative about it, like bad about it. That's actually negative, because they're afraid Sony won't give them a review copy. They won't get the clicks, and then they'll have to actually come up with some creative content. God forbid. You can't do it. So all these people reviewing, one, they don't even follow VR, most of them. They follow VR when there's a new headset and they get it for free. Two, again, you can't trust them. Everything is going to be positive. Now, do I hope that everything with the PSVR2 is wonderful and all the new technology is perfect? Of course I do. But now I can't trust them. I don't trust them. I'm not going to read it. I'm not giving them the satisfaction, because I don't even think they know what the F they're talking about. I am so sick of freaking these people reviewing this crap. And then we even have these people, we've had developers, no names, come out as like, oh, we're only going to give, codes and allow people to review the game who've got the headset previously. I'm assuming because, again, those same people can't say negative things about the headset. So then they're not going to say negative things about the game. So then you, the consumers, us, the consumers, Alex, will be like, oh, that game must be really good. Or people who are like fringe PSVR2, they're going to be like, oh, well, everything was good, but I don't even have a PC to plug it into. So if that's the worst thing, that's great. But this is bullcrap. They just won't tell you the actual negative effects of it. So all of you guys suck. I could go. There's a whole freaking.
I gotta roll onto this, Adam. You stirred something up in me. These reviews piss me off so much, because one of the other big things is people were like, "Oh, well, there's actually no games for the PSVR 2." We know there's like 48 games at launch, and then they say, "Oh yeah, but they're all just ports or something like that." Here's the deal: Gran Turismo 7 in VR is not Gran Turismo 7 in flat. It's Totally different. Resident Evil 8 in VR is not Resident Evil 8 in flat. I could play Resident Evil 7 all day. I could play that in front of my kids in flat mode, and it's not going to be scary. Play it in VR, and you can barely move. Here's the deal. You get a game like Last of Us Remastered, not talking about Last of Us Part 1 for PS5 or whatever, talking about Last of Us Remastered comes out about 2 years after the original Last of Us comes out, and it gets rave reviews. 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I can't believe they made it. It's so good. It's so pretty. You get a VR update that fundamentally changes how the game works. Well, that's a 2-year-old game. Who cares? Who gives a crap about it? People are talking about, PSVR 2, it might be cool, but there's no games for it. They don't even mention Gran Turismo 7. They don't even mention Resident Evil 8. I understand that there might be embargoes, but you can't talk about the game lineup not being good when you have fundamentally new games in Gran Turismo 7, Resident Evil 8, even these games that are ports from Quest. It's like, oh, you could play a cell phone game version, or you play the actual version. There's plenty of games that have been on like PS5, and they make some rinky-dink cell phone port, and you play it, and people don't play it. They don't recognize that as the official version of the game. It's the exact same thing. It's like when Call of Duty comes out, and then they make a Wii version and a PlayStation 3 and Xbox version. You don't say that Call of Duty doesn't count because it's on the Wii. You review the PS3 version for it, because that's the actual game. Now we're getting these actual games as opposed to these toned down weird ass ports or toned down versions of games, because they have to shoehorn into a Snapdragon processor that my Pixel 7 outperforms. It's just, these reviewers don't know what they're doing. Sorry, Adam. Let's roll. We got fun stuff to talk about. Let's get happy stuff going here.
Dude, so I want to start with, we're going to talk about the games that we know we're going to play right off the bat. We know we're going to review them on the website, on the podcast, and we're going to just predict what we think our top 5 are going to be. And then next week, after we have played them, next coming weeks, we're going to start like a revised list every week of being like, oh, this is the best game, and here's our top 1 to 5. I'm curious to see how accurate we're going to be. So moving fast, Alex, the games we got are Gran Turismo 7, Resident Evil 8, Res Infinite, Tetris Effect, Demio, Light Brigade, Kayak VR, Dyschronia Chronos, Saints and Sinners, Tentacular, Song in the Smoke, Thumper, Pistol Whipped, After the Fall, Horizon, Pavlov, Zenith, Garden of the Sea, Vacation and Job Simulator, and then Moss Book 1 and 2. I'm putting those together.
Yeah.
So those are the games we know we're playing right out the gate. So for you, what do you think the number one game? What do you think next week we say this is the best game that we play?
I mean, previous experience just has to tell me it's going to be Resident Evil 8. If it's anything like Resident Evil 7, but we have hand controllers, that's going to be my vote for what I predict is going to be the game that when somebody's like, why should I get a PSVR 2? I'm going to say Resident Evil 8, no questions asked. You got to play it.
I think it's tough. I am very tempted to put Gran Turismo there because it's like a shorter experience. We felt Resident Evil 7, which is incredible, but we've never felt something like Gran Turismo 7. So I think that new like breath of fresh air, not knowing how incredible it's going to be, I think it's 1 and 2. I think it could be interchangeable.
The reason I hesitate on Gran Turismo 7 is because it wasn't, as a flat game, it wasn't like a game of year contender. I mean, you don't even like, or the reason I said
I
Resident
don't like
Evil.
it flat. I've
Yeah,
played it.
you don't even you don't like the game flat. So that's why I think you're probably not going to make that number one. I think you're going to love Resident Evil 8 more than Gran Turismo 7, even if Gran Turismo 7 is mind-blowing in VR. So that's why I think Resident Evil 8 would be number one. Gran Turismo 7 is a hard 2 for me.
The one thing I'm a little concerned about, and I don't know anything about Resident Evil 8. I know Big Booby Lady, but you mentioned that it's more of like a action game than like a stealth horror game, which is why I like Resident Evil 7. That gave you that just horror of all the time I was scared and I didn't want to move. So if it's more action, I'm afraid I won't enjoy that as much and I won't be as scared. If
Well,
you're always, but I could be wrong.
It's how these games end up. Resident Evil always starts off as a scary game and ends up as an action game because you start getting more equipment. You get a shotgun, you get a machine gun, you get a grenade launcher. And then by the time you have a grenade launcher, nothing is scary anymore. You're just blasting things with grenade launchers. And there's tension because there's tough enemies, but it's not scary anymore. The other thing is, in Resident Evil 7, it was all these like slime monsters. Now we have like werewolves and vampires and giant big booby Ruby, like actual variety of enemies. So even though it will be action packed, it's still going to be plenty scary. So that I don't think you're going to be disappointed in like the scare factor. I think you're going to be excited about all the other enhancements that you have. So Adam, I'm putting RE8 at number one because I just don't think you're going to enjoy Gran Turismo 7 that much more than RE8. Like you're going to play Resident Evil 8 all the way through. You're probably not going to put that much time in Gran Turismo 7 unless the VR is just like absolutely mind-blowing and it makes you okay with driving 30 miles an hour in a 17 horsepower Fiat.
Well, you never know, but I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. You and everyone, just so you know, I want to put Res Infinite as number one. I'm not going to, but I want to. Like I've got the rig. It is gonna be. I will be in reality in Res Infinite. But next is, it's tough. I feel like I'm gonna have to go with. I would vote for Pavlov. I really think a action shooting game, you feel the haptics. I feel like that is going to be really good. The multiplayer component is going to be huge. It actually seems like it's going to be fun. You're not going to be waiting in the lobby. I think it's something it needs. I think it's going to be something that could be big. Those analog sticks are really going to come into play there.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think that's a great number three. Just in terms of like the variety of gameplay modes they seem to have already, and just all the good stuff we've heard from the PC version, and then the developer saying this is like the best version of the game. So it's a game that's already got high praise, and they're saying this is the best version of the game. So I think that's a strong contender for number three, and maybe it's going to go even higher after we play it. But it's got a tough mountain to climb. There's a steep drop off right now from prediction of like Gran Turismo 7 to Pavlov, but I think I could see that being above the other ones. Now, Adam, number four is probably you're not going to agree with, so you pick a number four for you while I talk about this. I think there's a good case to be made that Light Brigade might be like number 4 or 5 because it's heavily inspired by In Death. And the footage I'm watching, like, it just looks so good. In Death was most fun when you had a crossbow and it's like you're shooting a gun. Light Brigade is In Death with guns. And then randomly generated levels and stuff like that, that roguelike action that just keeps you coming back for more. It looks so good. Even the Quest reviews of it are glowing already. I can only imagine what it's going to be like in PSVR 2. But what are you thinking for number 4, Adam?
Yeah, this is tough. And this is where really there's going to be a lot of parity. I think everyone probably has something close to the top 3. Here it starts. I'm tempted to say Song in the Smoke. I think it's going to be an incredible game.
Yeah.
But I tend to lean toward the more like realistic graphics. And although that's going to look incredible, it's not necessarily realistic. I'm almost honestly wondering if I should go Saints and Sinners.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got everything I like in a game.
That's a great game already. Yeah.
I'm also interested. You have not even mentioned Horizon yet, which I know is up. It may just be. I wouldn't put it in the top 5 for myself. I didn't even buy it, so you may think the same as me. So I think I would say Saints and Sinners. You would say you're saying Light Brigade.
I'm more excited about Light Brigade than Saints and Sinners because I'm excited about the gameplay mechanics. I mean, Saints and Sinners is awesome. I'm wondering how much they're going to enhance the first one for PSVR 2. That's my concern, is that it might not be as mind-blowing. Maybe it's going to blow me away. The second one's coming out. Maybe that's a big deal, but it just...
I also haven't played the first one. So I think I'm excited to play it, and then I'm playing the best version of it. So, I mean, that has something to go into it, too. We didn't discuss what we were going to do and disagree.
Okay, we'll just put both of them here. Okay, so we got Light Brigade and Saints and Sinners for number 4. That's our guess right there. And then I guess we both kind of agree then Song in the Smoke is probably going to be number 5, just because we've heard so many positive things about people who are playing this version already. It had so much positive information on the PSVR 1 and even like the PC versions. And the enhancements sound game-changing in that aspect. I mean, the clambering and climbing, that already sounds better than how Horizon Zero or Horizon Call of the Mountain's doing it, where you're grabbing things by looking at it. That sounds awesome. Free jump mode and just the experience overall, like it's a fully featured game. And people are saying like there's stuff in here we don't want to talk about. We don't want to spoil it for you. And I'm a sucker for those kind of things where there's like things late in the game that you don't want spoiled that just like, I can't believe it. I'm looking forward to that full experience. So there's like good question marks. My curiosity is so peaked about Song in the Smoke. So that's why I want to put that at least at 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm cool with. Dude, there are so many games here. Like, I really want to play Thumper again because I think with that stuff, like I already remember feeling like the just hopelessness of the game in PSVR. But then you add all this other stuff. I think is going to be huge. You know how I feel about Rez. Tetris, I think, has really cool features. Can we say? I don't remember if we.
Well, I'll talk about Tetris. I'll talk about Tetris in the next segment. Yeah.
There are. I mean, there's even like Garden of the Sea looks interesting. I think we're gonna like Demio, the multiplayer there.
Kayak VR. The videos I've seen have been amazing. The reviews are great for that too. This is a list of like all hits. I was asking you today, like, what's going to be the turd of the PSVR launch? What's going to be the carnival games? What's going to be the game that's like, oh, you got that game? Like, what's the game that GameStop would throw in a bundle because nobody else is going to buy it? I don't see anything on the launch lineup that's that kind of game. The closest thing I saw was like that Cactus Cowboy game, and that's a free one, and everybody says it's actually pretty good. So I don't even know. I don't know what to be like. That's a disappointing title to see on the list. They're all looking so good. Even the old games, I'm excited to revisit them again with better. It's just looking so good. But anyways, we're running out of time, Adam. We got to move on to segment 2. So I'm going to take us out. Thank you so much for listening to segment 1. Again, send us your roast. Get a copy of Song in the Smoke sent to your inbox. Redeem that for your PSVR 2 headset. And we will see you after the break.
I do that. It's segment 2, Play PSVR 2, the podcast. Did you roast the PSVR yet? If not, do it. If you want to play Song in the Smoke for free, you gotta do it. Alex, I have to admit, I am excited for 2 reasons. One, I guess I'm a big drinker tonight because now I'm opening up a Jelly Belly watermelon sparkling water. And 2, I just received my Sony Pulse 3D headset. From my research, it seems like this really is the best headset for 3D audio, and it doesn't have to be Bluetooth, but it can be. It's clearly going to match and fit over the PSVR 2 because it's a Sony product, right? You haven't used yours a ton, but like what you have used it?
I used it. Yeah, I was actually playing Gran Turismo 7 the other day with it, and it works really well. The nice bonus to it, here's a reason why you might want to get something like this, is for the PSVR 2 headset, apparently it doesn't have volume control on it like the PSVR 1 did. PSVR 1 had buttons you could turn the volume up and down on. If you just use the earbuds, you don't have that. You have to go into the home screen. But if you have the Pulse headset, it's got little buttons on the bottom you can turn the volume up and down with. So it's nice to have that in case you got to turn things down or whatever. So that's a nice thing to have. Adam, I just got something. I just got an email in the segment break from PlayStation. I got so excited. You know what it was?
Oh, no.
Hey, Alex, buy MLB The Show 2023. Yes.
Get my PSVR 2 and I'll buy it.
I'm frantically refreshing my emails trying to get this, and I finally saw a PlayStation email come in. I got so pumped, and it was getting me to buy some stupid-ass baseball game.
See, the thing is, the reason I think there's a little hope for you is that, so they shipped mine 2 days ago, and
did it say yeah, it said shipped, yeah.
It doesn't take an entire week to deliver something. So I think they've given it to UPS, and they're like, deliver it on the 22nd. Even though maybe it could have been delivered tomorrow or on Monday. But if yours is a couple days delayed, you may still get it Wednesday, because then they're not going to say, hey, hold back. They'll just be like, okay, at this point, just deliver it. Maybe. Do you have any hope, or are you just assuming you're not going to have what they want?
I'm preparing myself for the worst. I mean, they told me it'd be a 1 or 2 day delay, and I didn't take off work the day it's coming out, but I'm off on the day after. So maybe even if it came in on the 22nd, I wouldn't have much time to play with it with all the crap I got to do. But I need it on the 23rd. I'm not doing anything on the 23rd but playing PSVR 2. And if that's not here, what am I going to do? Stick a Move controller up my butt? Who knows? I'm gonna charge somebody else's Sense controllers. That's what I'm gonna do.
You should make a Craigslist ad. I have the controller charger. If you want to
charge your controller. Yeah.
I love it. No, I'm excited. I'm gonna go use the Pulse headset. Have you used it Bluetooth?
Yeah, that's what it's got a little USB thing you put into the PlayStation to send that Bluetooth signal. Yeah, it works really well. It's great.
Okay. Do you know how long does it last? I didn't even.
It lasts a decent amount. I think if you're doing like 2 long gaming sessions, it lasts about 2 long gaming sessions. So like maybe 8 hours or something like that. It's not great. Like it's not going to last forever like some of these controllers do, but just recharge it when you're done playing for the night and you'll be good to go the next day.
I mean, just saying, my sessions are normally pretty long. So just remember that.
But boring.
Well, no promise there, but they're long. Just like the PSVR cord. Okay, you got news, and I've been out on a work trip this week. So I have not been able to keep track of Reddit and Twitter and stuff. The news you're going to be dropping on me, almost certainly I'm not going to have heard of. So I'm excited. You guys are going to get my live reaction, whether you want it or not. So what's next? Let's do it, Alex.
Yeah. So, I mean, biggest news right out of the gate, the German PlayStation blog accidentally posted a news bit that wasn't supposed to go live. It got quickly redacted, but of course the internet remembers everything. So we got announced like 5 new games for the launch window. So I'm guessing these are like not at launch, but maybe 30 days after launch or something. Talking about Gorn. That game everybody they were hyped about, but the Move controllers ruined it. Now we can actually play it and have fun with it. Project Wingman. This is Ace Combat. This is
So first of all, I'm just live reaction. Gorn, I don't care about. I'm not playing it anyhow. I never played it to begin with. Don't really want to play it now. I thought it just doesn't look that good. I don't care. This Ace Combat thing, maybe.
Yeah. So Project Wingman's a famous game in the PC space because it's like a fan-made Ace Combat game that ended up being just as good, if not better, than Ace Combat. And then
I didn't think Ace Combat was very good, so hopefully it's better.
Then they added VR to it, and people loved it. But it was like unofficial VR support. Now we have official VR support on the PlayStation 5. Project Wingman. Forget Ace Combat 7. We got the new hotness here. I'm pumped about that. Also, The Wanderer, one of PSVR 1's apparently best games. It got a lot of Game of the Year awards. That
Is
is
the one
being
with the skinny lady and it looks all artistic and
nope, not at all.
what
This
am I
is
thinking
this
of?
is like a time travel game where you're going back into the past to like change history or something like that. I never played it, but everybody loved it. I bought it because the high praise that it got, but never
Is
got
it
around to
did
touching it.
they say if it's a free upgrade?
They didn't. They call it the Wanderer Remastered. It better be a free upgrade because that game's still selling for like $40. So if somebody bought it recently,
Woof.
that's gonna suck a big turd to have to play that again or pay for that again. Another one, Solaris. What I forget the full name for it. Solaris. They call it Solaris 2. It's the people who made Firewall. They made another multiplayer shooter that people apparently liked, but the lobbies were dead because it was released late in the cycle. Hopefully, again, this is a free upgrade because you had about a week to play it on PSVR 1, and then nobody was playing it anymore. And I think the servers are already down. So,
Do you find it interesting that Solaris is coming out same time or earlier than Firewall Ultra?
I do find that interesting. That's why I think that this, even though they call it Solaris 2, I imagine it's just going to be Solaris, but beefed up for PSVR 2, maybe some new maps or something like that. I couldn't imagine they've fully developed a sequel in that time. So I hope it's an upgrade of the first one. One, so I can hopefully get a cheap upgrade path for it. Two, so that it doesn't ruin the development of Firewall Ultra. However, they are part of the Sony team now, so maybe there was extra money pumped. They got more developers, but I have high hopes.
Yeah, why not focus all the efforts on Firewall and get it out at launch? Like it doesn't.
Maybe they got two development teams now. I'm not sure. Same developer though. And then Green Hell VR, which is like a survival game. It was out on PS5 as just like a survival first-person game. There's a VR mode added to it now. It got there was some decent buzz around it, but I never looked at it because it wasn't VR. Now it's in VR, so it's just nice. Like more games are coming out, more games are getting announced. We thought we were done with the news, and it's hitting. And then next piece of news, Adam.
What before? I don't know if it's next to the game. Do you think there's any more games or announcements to come? I mean, it's Friday. We've got what 4 or 5 days. You think there's any chance something else is coming out?
We'll talk about that in a later news bit coming up.
Oh,
but another game was announced, not a part of this blog leak. This is an official announcement from the developers. Walkabout Mini Golf has been announced to be coming out for PSVR 2 for the launch window. Doesn't sound exciting, right? There's been mini golf on PSVR before, but this is like the highest rated VR game on Steam. It's putt-putt golf, but it's like these outlandish courses that you get to exist in, all sorts of weird mini games and stuff. It's where you take a game that's just kind of fun to play in real life, but then you can add all the like surreal stuff to it that video games can provide. Yeah, our boy Turna, he doesn't want to play PSVR because he doesn't have Walkabout Mini Golf. Guess what? It's here now, baby, and it's going to be better than ever. I'm really excited about this. I have friends who are only getting a PSVR 2 because they want to play Walkabout Mini Golf.
what?
Like they heard it. They heard it's coming. Yeah, I told them.
No way.
I told them it's coming out, and they're like, "I'm buying a PSVR 2 tomorrow." Like that's how hyped people are for this game. Yeah, they say
there is no freaking way. Is it multiplayer?
It's multiplayer. I'm kidding. I kid you not.
That is huge. So we can play mini golf.
Yeah, it's going to be fun mini golf. So I'm super excited about that. I'm so glad this game's coming out.
Is it launch day or launch window?
Launch window, so probably within 30 days or so, but it's coming out
soon.
That's
okay. Let us like get some ground under our feet and then drop it. Look, it's only $15 on Steam, so it's even cheap.
Yeah, we got to unrustle our jimmies so we can play some of these other games getting announced. But I'm super pumped about that. It's a game I've always heard about. You know, I thought about maybe getting on the Quest so I could just experience it. Now I'm glad I held off. I can actually play it.
Of all of the games, though, why? First of all, I'm watching a video. This is more of like, it really is mini golf. It's not putt-putt. Which, I mean, I know I'm being probably semantics, but, and it's fine. I'd rather this than just putt-putt. Very interesting, man. I mean, it looks fun. I will definitely 100% play this. But to say this is the reason I'm going to buy a headset, you've got some pretty effed up friends, buddy.
The thing is that these are people who've played it on other systems, and they're just like, this is amazing. This is so fun. That's what happens, right? Games come out that are just so good, you can't explain it until you play it. And I think this is going to be one of those situations.
What new technologies, like haptics for this, I feel like can't be that good. What are you going to use for eye tracking?
So it's like, imagine a putt-putt golf course that has like dinosaurs and they're not moving. But if you play in VR, then those dinosaurs could be moving. So maybe a dinosaur is moving around your head or something. I don't know. I'm just excited to get to play this game.
But how are they going to make this version better? That's why That's
Use the
why I don't.
haptics for that cool stuff that's happening. I don't know, Adam, but I'm not going to argue. Maybe haptics will have some fun stuff as you're putt golfing or something, like you're hitting in sand or grass and you have different vibrations as you hit the ball or so. I don't know. I'm not a golfer. I'm just excited to play this fun party golf game that people are hyped about.
Oh, is it local multiplayer?
Maybe you just swap the headset out. I don't know, but it's going to be fun regardless.
You don't know enough. Next bit of news.
Next bit of news, there was the Sense controller teardown. Sony broke apart the Sense controller and explained things. Interesting piece of information here. They have 5-finger sensors, meaning they're sensing where each of your fingers are on the handset. So if I lift up my middle finger, only my middle finger is going to lift up. This has cool gameplay implications when it comes to things like, shooting a gun or picking up objects, holding objects, all sorts of crap like that. I didn't know this technology was in there. I think it was in a patent, but it's just a cool little nugget of information to find out that you can actually sense where each finger is as you're holding that Sense controller. Pretty cool. I mean,
we've known it had finger tracking. I assumed it was all 5. Did you not think it was all 5?
A lot of VR games have finger tracking, but it's just like the index finger knowing if you're touching the trigger or not. But it's the whole controller can tell if your hands are touching. It's the difference between, all fingers popping up immediately and all fingers going like that. But if you're holding the Sense controller and then you lift up your fingers and it's moving all your fingers independently, that's pretty awesome. That's an extra level of immersion. It's going to feel real nice, real cool.
I'm gonna be flashing a middle finger every game all the time.
All the time.
I guess what would it be? The middle finger of the holster that's going to be the only white part of the controller left.
The rest is going to be worn out. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Another piece, from the PSVR2 headset teardown, there's a nice nugget of information. So a lot of people had issues. If your cord messed up on PSVR1, you're up a creek. You have to send it back to Sony to get it repaired. Tearing down the PSVR2 headset, it was discovered that, that USB-C cable does just unplug. Now you got to take some parts off the headset, but you can just unplug the cable and then plug a new one in, which means in a pinch, maybe you could just get a cord sent to you by Sony instead of having to send it to them, pay $150 for the repair. It's nice. It's promising that it's going to be easier to fix things if, like, my rabbit chews through the wire again, or you roll over it in a chair or something like that, something messes up your cord. You have some redeemability there. So that's exciting. Maybe you could buy a longer USB-C cable, have more room to do room scale crap with, and just plug that into the back of the headset. So I'm interested to see how that plays out, but it's nice to know that it's not hardwired in, it's just a plug. That's a nice little nugget of information. Does that do anything for you?
My issue has never been length, but what I will say is, just to verify what you said, it's built so it's not like if I'm moving around, the cord's gonna come out.
Right. Okay. It's like embedded in the headset, right? But if you take off the plastic backing, you tear off the back of the headset a bit. Maybe you got to pry it open. I don't know. You can unplug that cord. So if you have to replace it, it'll be easy to replace. Would be nice if there was like a 30-foot cord you could buy. That way, if you have like the cord running along the ceiling or something, you're not sacrificing all that extra mobility. You have just a longer cord. That'd be great. Next piece of information. This is kind of weird. So Assassin's Creed, the developers of Assassin's Creed were in rumors to be making a VR game for Meta for the Quest, and it was going to be exclusive. However, that exclusivity deal has been canceled. So now Assassin's Creed VR, if it's still being developed, is open to be ported to the PlayStation VR. People are excited about this. Adam, have you ever played Assassin's Creed? Do you know what it's like?
Way back in the day, freaking PlayStation Plus has every effing game under the moon. I'm sick of seeing it. I'm not going to play it. I tried to play the one for the PS5, Valhalla. It sucked. I got like 40 minutes in. I couldn't even continue.
You don't want to do the parkour in VR, climbing up the towers, climbing up the buildings, jumping off. It's like to the top, but in VR. But Assassin's Creed, you jumping off, stabbing people in the neck. You don't want to do that?
I mean, it could be, but that's where virtual reality totally changes the game. What would have sucked and flat or been, average, not exciting. Yeah. I'll stab some dudes in the throat. Giddy up.
Yeah, and it's nice. This is a high-profile franchise, which is what people are clamoring for on PSVR 2. So if this can land on PSVR 2 and it's not sacrificing fidelity because it was being ported to the Quest or made on the Quest originally, that's going to be a nice get if it comes to pass. So I'm just happy to see. I mean, shame that the deal fell through, but it's a benefit for us. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes there. Adam, this one, I didn't even know this game existed. Apparently it was a Dreamcast game called C Smash. I think in Dreamcast it was called Cosmic Smash, It's like a pickleball
I've seen. This is the one bit of news I actually have seen. Yeah.
yeah,
People are
Cosmic
pumped.
Smash. Yeah, VRS announced. So a VR Cosmic Smash port. Sega getting into the VR game. That's always exciting. I love when Sega's putting stuff out. They're bringing Cosmic Smash to VR. I think it's launch window. People seem excited because it looks like Spark. It looks like table tennis, and I don't know of any table tennis games ready for PSVR 2. You know, with tracking actually working well now with haptics, that'd be really fun. You know, you feel the ball actually hit the paddle. That's going to help out a whole lot with this kind of game. How do you feel? So the PSVR 2 has like fans, so you don't overheat anymore. How are you feeling about doing a semi-athletic game?
They have fans for your face?
Not for your face, but they have fans in the system so that the lenses don't fog up, just to kind of keep things cooler. So maybe you're not going to overheat when you play it.
Oh, okay. The thing is, I played Spark. It was technically it was good. It's just, yeah, do you want to sweat? Do you want to put in the effort? And then were you able to find someone to play with? I mean, I'll definitely give this a shot. If you have a big room, it's going to be really nice to be able to move now. That's where room scale,
Yeah.
I think, is going to just shine. And it's going to totally change the experience. Whereas the PSVR, you had to stay in your little box and it was more of like a bending over simulator. But this, you're going to be able to play like handball or racquetball or, whatever. So this, what are you laughing at now?
Adam playing a bending over simulator in VR. That's hilarious.
Yes, exactly. And so I will definitely play it. I'm not one to love getting hot and sweaty with a headset on, but same thing. Just like Beast Saber, you play a couple games, you give it a break, then you go back. I mean, I will tag your butt in some C Smash. I'm gonna smash that.
Things we learned today. Adam is going to bend over, get hot and sweaty, and tag your butt and give you a good old C smash right there. New Tetris Effect modes were announced, Adam.
Yes!
So here's the thing.
Maybe it won't suck.
It's not VR exclusive, but they did add some cool modes. There was like an endless mode has been added, I think, to every mode of the game. So now you're not stuck like there was the marathon mode where you can actually play Tetris Effect, but you get after the end of like 10 levels, it stops and you got to start over or something like that. Now you can play that endlessly. It'll change the scenery and stuff like that. There's also new competition mode, so you can play the original, Tetris mode with the low, not the fancy graphics, but the just like hardcore Tetris graphics. All that stuff is being added into Tetris Effect in flat mode, but you also get it in VR mode. So I think that's kind of exciting. I mean, sometimes I just want to play classic Tetris. I'd like to play it in VR to have some of the.
They already have that though.
No, apparently not, because they're talking about it. Like enhanced competitive modes as well.
So the one thing you said there is very intriguing. The only trophy I need to platinum the game is to get the SS rank on everything. And the issue is some of the effect modes, they're like almost like little mini games. There's like, oh, you have 1 minute in Ultra Tetris to score some really high amount. And they had creative little games, but some of them are just ungodly difficult. Like there's no effing way. And if it's an endless mode, a few of those modes I just mentioned had endless modes. And if you double S those, that counted as, did it. So if these do that, that will allow me to get the platinum. If not, I'm never going to get it because it's just the stuff they want you to do is just ungodly. You have to be like
I was watching the video for this and they mentioned something. Have you ever gotten what's called a curbtris?
Not that I know of. I don't even know what that is.
So what it is because what's the best Tetris you can get in like the effect mode, like the best, not like the dodeca Tetris or the perfect Tetris or something like that.
There is Perfectress, but there's one above that.
Yeah, so there's one above that where you fill up the entire screen when you're in like the Zen mode or the effect mode, and then you get all of those cleared, and then you clear a line of the one that's just outside of the board. Have you gotten one of those?
No, I've gotten close, but that is almost luck because the last piece you get has to fit perfectly, and I've gotten to the point where I've gotten real close. It was just the wrong piece. And so then there's nothing, you can't move your piece. So if it doesn't fit right there perfectly, you're done. So no, I've never done it. But I don't know. What's a curb Tetris.
That's it. It's called a curb tris. I don't know why it's called a curb tris, but that's what it is. Yeah, I just thought that was neat. I never knew that. I thought Perfectress was the best you could get. Yeah. Next piece of news: Drums Rock. I don't know what this is, to be honest. It's coming out on launch day. Another launch title, Drums Rock.
Gosh.
I'm guessing it's like Beat Saber, but you're hitting drums, which might be really cool, especially with the haptics. You get that feedback as you're hitting the drums.
Dude, why do we not have a Rockstar game for virtual reality?
Like Rock Band?
Or that's what I meant. Rock Band, Guitar Hero. I mean, it seems like a blatant hole in the category, right?
Yeah, I mean there was Rock Band VR on PC. I just think it didn't take off, so nobody really played it. But I agree. I'd like to see, a combination. I don't want to just play drums, right? I don't want to just play guitar. It'd be great if you could choose, and then you could play. I mean, Electronauts was kind of in that vein. You could make songs and stuff like that. But no, it is nice to play songs you know.
Yeah, have high-profile songs. Now with the finger tracking, you could do something with that with the guitar strings. Obviously, drums would be the easiest ones to do. Essentially, just Beat Saber with a drum. What else did they have? Singing, that should be easy. You got a freaking microphone in the headset. They could pretty much make Rock Band now.
Yeah.
They need to do it. Like
I'll buy a peripheral for it. I don't even care. Let me glue
if
my.
They had if they had a guitar, a little banjo. Oh yeah.
Let me glue my Sense controller on the top so you can see me tilt it and stuff like that. That's fine with me. I don't care.
Maybe that's what we need to develop, Alex.
Yeah, we're quitting the podcast. We're making games now. Adam, this is a bit of a rumorish thing. I don't know if anything's going to come to pass, but it was kind of odd that Ace Combat and Resident Evil 7 are being added to the PlayStation Plus Essentials library the day that PSVR 2 comes out. Now, here's what gives me hope is maybe PSVR support is being extended for Ace Combat. PSVR 2 support's being extended to Ace Combat 7, and PSVR 2 support's being extended to RE7. Now, Ace Combat, that'd be a whole lot of work to do to get the whole game in VR. But Resident Evil 7, it's in the same engine as Resident Evil 8. So you'd think that maybe the work done on Resident Evil 8 would make it easy to put that back into RE7, because I'd love it if I could just play RE7 in PSVR 2 with foveated rendering and better graphics. It's a dream of mine. And it would be great for new users. If you could play RE7 and go right into RE8, all in PSVR 2, that's such a win. Does that tickle your jimmies?
I don't think, because I mean, it's cool, do whatever. I'm ready for RE8. They're making Resident Evil 4, right? I mean, focus your efforts there. Make that really good. We've already played Resident Evil 7. I don't know if I would really go back and play that again. It's a lot of Resident Evil in a short amount of time. You can't even freaking finish Astrobot, for goodness sake. You're not going to be playing 3 Resident Evils. Ace Combat 7 is at least short. You could sit down, run through that in an hour, 2 hours, something like that.
No, the whole game, though. The whole game, not just the 3. That's what I'm hoping is the whole game. Yeah.
I don't. Maybe we'll see. Even if it doesn't come to fruition, you have that other game that was just announced.
Yeah, Project Wingman. The more the merrier. But one thing that was fun in Ace Combat 7 was cinema mode. I mean, cinema mode's clunky in a way, but the way Ace Combat plays, like, it's a pseudo VR thing where you can play that in cinema mode. Mm-hmm. Cinema mode on PSVR 2 is getting rave reviews. People are loving it. There was a guy who got the PSVR 2 early. He couldn't play any games, but he played games in cinema mode. He had a top-of-the-line LG C2 OLED TV, like the best gaming TV you can get. And he said cinema mode was like just as good because although it's only 1080p, you got 120 hertz refresh rate. And he said that it's crystal clear, super fast refresh rate. And now in cinema mode, instead of having like up close, medium, and far away, you have a slider to adjust how close the screen is. So you have like a percentage slider. You can move it further away and back. But the nice thing is, PS5, it does 4K, but it can't do 4K 120. There's not many games that can do that. So a lot of people like to play at 120 hertz refresh rate. Not a lot of TVs handle that too much. But now, if you have a TV that can't do 120 hertz, you got a PSVR 2, now you have a 1080p TV playing even your flat games with 120 hertz refresh rate. I'm really excited that cinema mode might actually be a viable way to play games, so you don't have to have this fancy TV. You have a good TV in the headset now. It's really exciting for me. I don't know if that's anything for you, but I mean, you could set up your PS5 and a PSVR headset in a small space. Like I just set it up in my office and play big screen game of, I don't know, Witcher 3 with 120 hertz. It's just so cool. I'm so excited about this little nugget that's popping up out of nowhere for the PSVR 2.
I mean, it's cool. I don't plan on playing much in cinema mode just because we'll see how it feels. But the PSVR wasn't uncomfortable. But would I want to be in it for 2 hours? Like, I wouldn't. Eventually, it does take a toll on the heaviness on your neck, or it gets hot with the headset on. I would imagine even in 2 hours, the same thing would be with the PSVR 2, even if you were just sitting there in cinema mode. But it's nice when you have your patented backpack come out and I can sit on the airport in the airplane and play a flat game with the headset on, and all these freaking people will stop bothering me, asking me if I want peanuts. And hey, can you stop farting? And can you move so I can go and, I don't know, give a handy to the dude in row 20G. So yeah, bring it on. I'll take it.
Funny you mentioned the 2 hour, Adam. We found out what the battery life is for the Sense controllers. It's about, so this is news. The battery life is about 4 or 5 hours for these Sense controllers on the PSVR 2. How does that make you feel? Do you feel like you're going to be hindered by a 2 hour battery or a 4 to 5 hour battery life for the Sense controllers?
So I feel like what this will do is verify that you have to have an external charging system. You can't charge it via the PS5. It's going to be too slow, too clunky. So you got to have the Sony one. You need to get the Collective Minds. There's going to be others that come out. So that's the first thing that comes through my mind. I know it does a lot more. So, 4 hours is, I'm trying to think, how many times have I been in VR and I've played for 4 hours at one time? I'm sure it's happened. I'm pretty sure it's definitely happened. But it's not often, but it would suck if we're in Resident Evil 8 and we're chugging along, and I mean, we're loving it. We don't want to get out, and then we have to because of controller. Or probably the bigger issue is going to be we play Gran Turismo for a couple hours, and then I hop into a new game, and then I get in the middle of a mission, or I'm in a Resident Evil 8, and then I have to stop because of only. I don't think that's ever happened to me, because with controllers you just switch it out, right? If it's a DualShock or DualSense.
Well, Gran Turismo is a good one to bring up because my thought is like, yeah, 4 to 5, that's not great. Like the PS4 controller would last weeks, depending on how often you game, it would last forever. DualSense doesn't quite have that battery life because it's got so much going on, like you mentioned. However, I mean, you play for 4 to 5 hours in VR, you probably need to take a break anyways. But then the other nice thing is, all right, put those in the dock and then grab your DualSense, play Gran Turismo 7. So you're not stuck to just using the Sense controller to play some of these games in VR. Gran Turismo 7 is going to be using DualSense primarily, I'd imagine. That's what I'm going to be using it. That's how I'm going to be playing it. So I'm not too miffed about this. Again, it does justify the cost of like controller docks, because I think when you get the thing, it only comes with one cord to charge your controllers with, because they're expecting you to have the other cord already with the PS5. But I think a dock is the way to go here. You can have it externally plugged in somewhere else, have it sitting next to like your couch or something like that on the coffee table, set them right there when you're done, and get into GT7 and kill some time while those recharge.
Have you heard of docking before?
I don't want to get into that, Adam. I've heard of it. Yeah, and from what I heard, you loved it. But Unreal Engine VR game, Unreal Engine, the company that makes Unreal, or what Epic, they make the Unreal Engine. Most games are using it nowadays. It looks great. They're having an Unreal Engine VR Games Week next week, kind of coinciding with the PSVR 2 launch. And there's very strong rumors that there's going to be a PSVR 2 title announced there.
You did this with the Super Bowl. Now you're doing it again. Screw you, Alex. I'm not telling anyone about it. I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not doing it.
Okay. I mean, this isn't just like, oh, we're guessing it's going to be, but Unreal, they do make a lot of VR components. They make a lot of VR tools. They're announcing a new game. If you're announcing a new VR game, why would it not be on PSVR 2? We know that there's games that are coming out at launch or near launch that haven't been announced yet. So it seems primed. Everything seems to be coinciding. So I'm optimistic. I think we're going to find something out new there. And if it's an Unreal showcase, that thing's going to be a graphical powerhouse. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I won't hold my breath. Do you think it will be a launch game or just a game they're going to say, hey, we're making for PSVR 2?
That's tough, right? Because I mean, we know that there's launch games that haven't been announced, or there's very heavy rumors that there's still surprises left that we're going to discover at launch. So the fact that they're having this at launch makes me feel like it would be a launch game. But also, if they wanted to sell, you'd think maybe they would have announced it earlier, right?
So remember when people got their review headsets and they said, "Hey, they made it seem like there was a game they can't talk about, but it was a surprise." Have we found out what that game was?
No, I mean the rumor mill is that it's got to be like an Astro something, right? Everything from Sony since they made the eye camera or the Playroom camera for PS4 has had an Astrobot thing at launch. This would be the first piece of Sony hardware since Astrobot existed that hasn't had Astrobot at launch. So I mean, I guess that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a surprise that Astrobot has some PSVR thing, because also they don't need to sell it because they're giving it away because it's going to be like the tech demo of PSVR 2. That's my guess as to what people were talking about. I have no idea what this Unreal one is because I don't think Astrobot's an Unreal Engine game.
Yeah. I mean, again, I've been clamoring for an Astrobot. I would be thrilled. It's also weird that they're like, okay, you can have reviews of the headset, but still don't talk about this Astrobot pack-in.
Yeah, it is weird, right? Why wouldn't they just mention that unless they just don't care because it doesn't need to sell? They want to have fun stuff to. I honestly don't know. I don't know.
There's still maybe you'll find out. I'll text you when I have my headset.
Oh yeah, great! I can't wait. Oh my goodness.
My Sense controllers die, and I'm like, hey, can I have a charging station?
Let me mail it to you. It'll probably get there before my headset gets here. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You got anything else to say, Adam? Otherwise, I'll take us out.
If that's the last piece of news,
that's it. Yeah, we were going to talk about reviews. We already discussed that.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I am giddy. Less than a week. I can't wait. I took Thursday and Friday off work. I'm already planning on trying to just block off my Wednesday. So like the afternoon, you do have to sign for it. So I'm gonna be right by my door because I've had stuff and that needed signed, and people come in there like, and I know you're listening to the podcast. I know you didn't hear that. I knocked. That was their knock. They like slapped their Jimmy against the door and expect me to hear it on the other side of the house. I can't hear that. Knock like a man. So I'm
give us one of these. There we go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't have a doorbell. So I'm gonna put a sign. It says knock as though I don't know. I was making love to your mom and you didn't want me to. That's why I want you to knock like, and I'm going to be right by the door, and it's going to be, I mean, it's just going to be incredible. I still sticking to it. Res Infinite, first game. Let's go.
Here's what's going to happen. Adam's going to be making love to your mom. He's going to he's going to say, hold on, wait 1 second. And then he's gonna go straight to the door and get his PSVR 2. It's looking like that's how that's gonna work.
I'll be like, get out! It's my time. I pleased you. Leave.
Oh well, thank you, Adam. All right, thank you, listeners, for joining us on this long ride on the PSVR 2 hype train. We are rolling into the station next week. At least one of us is, but we'll be here to spill the beans on our hot thoughts about PSVR 2. And the launch titles and the games we've played and what it all feels like. But you don't want to go in blind. You don't want your auntie wondering what it is we're talking about. So send her an email, send her a text her a GIF, a meme, let her know. Play PSVR 2 the podcast. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon. We're on wherever you listen to podcasts. We're going to be right there. And when the nausea kicks in, after you spin out in Gran Turismo 7, you're feeling a bit woozy, you need to take a break. Let your VR legs acclimate. Pull us up on YouTube. Watch some quality content. You can find us on our channel. Gaming is in Session is our channel. Leave a comment. Leave us a roast. And you might just get a song in the smoke code if your roast is toasty enough. As always, for Adam, I'm Alex. And thank you for listening to Play PSVR 2, the podcast, where virtual reality will soon be our reality.